I'm going to explain to you why you might find it so hard to set boundaries. And in particular, I'm going to use romantic connections as an example, because I think this is where this is most likely to really roar its head and say, this is too scary, this is too much, and therefore I'm going to allow this situation to continue even though I'm not getting my needs met, even though I'm not being heard, even though this is actually inauthentic to me. So this is hopefully going to really help you to make sense of why you're feeling the way that you feel. And I want to say, first of all, that you're normal and that actually everybody struggles with this at points, and particularly in romantic relationships, because this is where we're most likely to be activated from our past stuff, from our childhood stuff. So again, I'm going to refer back to my recent obsession, which is of Gabor Mate, who talks about authenticity versus attachment. And basically, he says that whenever we are younger, we have to form attachments, and without those attachments, we would basically die. It's true. No one can survive childhood without having an attachment in one way or another. And also what we need is authenticity. We need the freedom to be able to be ourselves. But when we're in childhood, we often come across situations or circumstances where we perceive that it wouldn't be safe or right for us to be authentic, for us to speak our truth, for us to express an emotion. And so what do? We choose attachment over authenticity. And this basically happens over and over and over again. And when we choose attachment over authenticity, what we often do in equal amounts of that is we create a behavioural adaptation that we get used to doing, and therefore becomes a habit that keeps us stuck in survival mode. Okay, so when we were younger, something happens. Maybe there was arguments in the family home, and we went from playing and not really caring about what anyone thought to suddenly thinking, oh, I probably shouldn't cry, or I probably shouldn't say no, or I probably shouldn't be angry, because either no one's going to understand it, I'm not going to be heard, or I'm going to be punished for it. One of these things might have happened, and so we choose to maybe shut down, because actually if you think about it, we've got fight, flight and freeze. And if you're someone who is most likely to go into a freeze response, that makes a lot of sense too, because when we're younger, we're not as likely to fight, especially when we're a baby or we're young, pre-verbal. We're not likely to fight because we don't have that cognitive or verbal ability to do that. We're not likely to flight, we're not likely to run away, are we? When we're that young, we're most likely to freeze. And so freeze becomes the normal response, and that can feel like shutdown. It can feel like, oh, I feel really weird, I feel shy, I don't know how to express myself, I feel like I can't be myself. Basically what's happened there is that you've gone into freeze, and this becomes a habit, a habitual response to perceived threat or danger, or perceived rejection of your true self, right? So we carry this into adulthood, and we carry it into our relationships. So whenever you're faced with, I want to speak my truth, I want to say that this is hurting me, I want to say that I need more, I want to say that I want commitment, I want to say that what I need is something more than this, yeah, especially when you're in those kind of hot cold dynamics, or there's lack of communication, or there's no commitment. All of these things can really bring up that attachment and authenticity conflict within you. So this is where it really gets really loud, and you think, why can't I just say what I want to say? And why am I frozen? And why do I shut down when this happens? And why do I get so angry? Or why do I lash out? Or why do I chase? Or whatever. All of it's survival. And for you to set a boundary, for you to say no, would mean choosing authenticity over attachment. The thing is that in our adult lives, we need attachment less than when we were younger, because we can look after ourselves. We're not going to die if we don't have that kind of attachment that we needed when we were younger. So understanding this can help you to lean into choosing authenticity, because we need that more to survive now than we do attachment. Because when we don't speak our truth, when we're not authentic, this is where we start to have issues with our mental health, with our physical health, and all sorts of things can happen. That is really the impact of pushing down, depressing our system. And this has a massive effect on our sense of well-being. Okay, so equally, it's really bloody hard to do, because our primal need is attachment. That's from birth. Yeah, it's primal. It goes really deep. So for us to overcome this, it's so normal for this to be really hard, and for everything in you to be going, no, I'm not doing it. I'm not setting a boundary. I'm not getting rid of this person. I'm not getting rid of, but I'm not setting a boundary with this person, because it's too terrifying for my nervous system to think that I might lose this person, essentially lose the attachment, and therefore die. Right? That's how deep it runs. We think, our nervous system thinks that if we set a boundary, we're going to die, because we might lose this person. But actually, you won't die, because we don't need attachment as much as we used to when we were younger. This is where you can start to build the confidence that you can actually speak your truth, and that you're going to survive and you're going to thrive, because we thrive when we are speaking our truth. We start to feel deep self-love. We start to feel deep self-compassion. Our body heals, our mind heals, we start to feel whole and complete and connected, and from there we manifest amazing things, complete turnarounds in relationships, and real reconnection to parts of ourselves that we have abandoned over and over and over and over again. So I want to say to everybody watching this that you're normal, and that it is so hard, and trust me, I really know, because I've struggled so much myself with setting boundaries, and I've been on a journey myself of learning to speak my truth in my relationship, before my relationship began. Oh my God, that was a journey. You know, no wonder it took me such a long time for the relationship to work. It was terrifying for me to speak my truth, because I was terrified of losing him, and I had externalized all of my childhood trauma and made it Johnny's job to fix it. And that was never going to work. And even in the relationship, learning to speak my truth and say no, and to, express when I'm hurt by something, when I, don't want to do something or whatever. Like, that's been such a journey, and still is. So, and even in my business, even in my videos, learning to be, I love that a lot of people say that I'm really authentic, but I even struggle with that sometimes. I do my absolute best to be as authentic as possible, to say when I'm struggling with something, to say, when something's been hard, to say what I'm going through or whatever. But sometimes I even struggle with that, with really properly being able to verbalize it, for fear of rejection, for fear of being seen a particular way. And it's all primal. It comes back to the same wound, the same fear of abandonment, which is so interesting. So if you're watching this and you're thinking, oh my God, that is me, trust me, I'm with you. I hear you. I know it's hard. Honestly, on the other side of setting boundaries, for you not to transform the relationship, but for you to protect yourself, for you to choose authenticity over attachment, when you do that, oh my God, it's so empowering. It's such an experience of feeling so whole and complete within yourself, and you will feel so proud of yourself, and the effects of that, the ripple effects of that, go beyond that relationship, go beyond your family, just have such a ripple effect on everyone around you. You teach others to be brave. You teach others to have the courage to be themselves. You teach others that they can transform their relationships by speaking your truth. So I hope you found this video useful. If you would like some support in doing this, because I know how hard it is, that's why I've created the Conscious Creators Masters Academy, for moments like this where you really need a group support to be like, you've got this, you're amazing, and your voice is so important, and it's okay, and you're going to be caught by people who can see you and love you. This is what the Conscious Creators is all about. It's such a beautiful space for this kind of thing. And we also, you know, help people to uncover their truths even when they can't see what that actually might be. So there's one space left. If you would like to take it, I would love to hear from you. We start tonight. So if not, then I'll see you in the next video. Bye.